prayer and the power of God's name. The greatest Kabbalist writes, Gershom Scholem, we all great masters of prayer. Prayer, along with the performance of good deeds, is central to the Kabbalist's supreme mission in Tikkun, the restoration of our fractured world that must take place because of the breaking of the vessels and the subsequent fall of Adam. Thus, the Kabbalist prays with more than a desire for a personal boon or yearning to commune with God. He does so with the conviction that his prayer will restore peace and harmony to this world and to the heavenly realms. The Zohar says that prayer works for 4 levels to perform tikkun. It not only builds up him who prays, but it also restores the physical world, the upper world with the heavenly hosts, and the world of the Sephirah. Again, we meet the principle that makes Kabbalah unique among the mystical paths of the world's religion. Just as the harmony of our world depends on divine support, so the harmony of the divine world depends on our support. Kabbalah portrays the relationship between the human and divine worlds, not as one of mankind's dependence on God, but as one of the mutual interdependence. Those who are below are always in need of help from above to complete what they have to do, writes Isaac Luria's disciple Hayim Vital. The powers above also need the help of those below. God depends on us. Our actions, our devotion, our lifestyle can mend the fractures so that there will once again be a continuous union between Creator and creation. Kabbalah, a unique marriage of prayer and meditation. While the Kabbalists used traditional Jewish prayers, they went beyond standard rituals by stressing that Kabbalistic significance of each word they recited on ritual they performed. They breathe a new life into the traditional concept of Kabbalah, the intention or spiritual concentration and awareness with which one performs religious duties. What is Kabbalah? Asked Maimonides. In the 12th century, one should empty one's mind of every thought and regard oneself as if one were standing in the presence of the Shekinah. Kabbalah teaches that Kabbalah allows us to engage in a mystical inner work. Kabbalah creates a flow of blessings upon the one who prays upon the world in which he lives and upon the upper worlds. In essence, the Jewish mystic teaches that we get the best results from our spiritual practices when we do them with profound devotion and understanding. One traditional prayer that takes on special meaning for a Kabbalist is the Shema, the declaration of faith that is at the core of Jewish worship. The Shema is to be said twice a day, upon rising and before retiring. The first verse, Shema Israel. Adonai Elohenu, Adonai Ehad, means, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Jesus underscored the significance of the Shema. God had given Moses 613 commandments, and the rabbis often discussed which was the greatest. When one of the scribes asked Jesus what was the greatest commandment, he replied by quoting the first 2 verses of the Shema and commanded that Leviticus. Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Leviticus 19:18. There is none other commandment greater than these. In traditional Judaism, the Shema affirms the oneness of God, and the monotheism of Judaism. The first and second sections of the Shema are taken from Moses' final advice to the Israelites on the eve of their entrance into the land of Canaan. The statement, the Lord is one, is intended to remind the Israelites not to worship other gods and idols, because their God is one, true God, who is above all other gods. The declaration that opens the Shema has no less meaning to us today. It reminds us that God alone, and not the lesser gods of material comfort, human personality, or worldly honor, should be the object of our devotion. Kabbalists takes the Shema's declaration of monotheism to new heights. They see an inner meaning in the words of the Shema relating to the unity of the Sephirah. They teach that when the Shema is said with Kavanah, that unique marriage of prayer and meditation, it restores the world of the Sephirah. It also allows the upper and lower worlds to function in perfect harmony and unity, and causes blessings to flow from Sephirah to Sephirah until they reach our physical world. The Zohar says that when a person recites the Shema properly, the Shekinah comes and settles upon his head and blesses him with an abundance of blessings.